Hello, Aries. Welcome to your mid-January 2022 general tarot reading. It's Raina here. My new deck, Cosmic Slumber. I know you Aries will like it because it's so colorful. It's so cheery. Oh, thank goodness. Different cards for a change. I think I'm going to just stick with these and have all different cards. I'm afraid to pick from the other piles because I've been here. Wow! Sorry. my tripod is so hilariously and precariously positioned. Okay. The heart of the matter is the Seven of Swords. I love that pink sun, or if it's the moon, probably the moon. And this is a card of deception. This can be a card of theft. A lot of people talk about stealing of items. I would say intellectual theft can definitely be the case. But even in relationships, cheating. Oh, and by the way, since we're having our... oh, yeah, that's right. We're having, Venus retrograde through most of January. I found this when I was, organizing things. And it's a selenite crystal, but I hadn't taken it out of a box. But isn't that funny to find it during a Venus retrograde? So, yeah, I mean, I don't know if I ever hear about that during Venus retrogrades, that is when somebody finds out that their partner is cheating, but it makes a lot of sense that might occur. But whatever, I mean, this could be work-related also. Somebody who's always taking your ideas and making them their own. And it could even be a boss instead of a coworker. In the past position, you have the Five of Pentacles. This is a card of financial problems. It could be unemployment or the fear of those things. So what that can mean is that perhaps you've been tolerating these kinds of negative behaviors because you're like, oh, well, I was unemployed for 6 months. I'm not going to go through that again. Oh, whatever it takes, if that's what it means, that's what I'm going to do. But unfortunately, that can be something that is not very positive because you're in a negative space. You're around, it's like being around snakes or something. It's not really that good of a situation to find yourself in. Also, if this is personally related, because I feel like I'm reading, the past readings, I've been doing a lot of readings today, and it's just been like, rather than work related, I'm seeing more like relationship, or at least that's how I'm reading it as, interpreting. If that's how if that's what you're dealing with, you may feel this sense of like, I don't want to be alone, or, I'm such and such age. This is the best. This is as good as it gets. And these kinds of lack consciousness messages. Now, this is totally not how Aries tends to think, but you might have your Mercury in Pisces and you have a lot more fear-based thoughts, or inner planets in Pisces. Maybe you have the moon in the 12th house and you feel that you've never been loved the way you need to be loved. So there could be all these deficits in your nature, possible deficits or weak spots that make you feel like you can't do something. And, I've said this before that Aries has Chiron transing Aries at this time and has been for several years, will be for several years more. And that can make you uncharacteristically sensitive to kind of your life as a whole in a personal sort of way. The higher message is the Eight of Pentacles, and this is a card of doing things the right way. So not cutting corners, giving your best effort, and being very I was going to say methodical, but what I mean is that if you need training, getting training. If you are in a situation where you fear that you could lose your job at any time, get more training, even if it's not exactly in the thing that you're doing. Maybe it's in a totally different field, preparing for having more possibilities. But the Seven of Swords, now that I think about it too, can be a card of going your own way. And this can be, with the Five of Pentacles in the past position, you might be like, hey, the type of work that I'm doing, it seems like it's always leading to bouts of unemployment, and I'm seeing the writing on the wall. I don't think that this industry is growth oriented. I think it's on its way out. And so you're kind of like thinking, I'll do something on my own, and you really do work well by yourself, Aries. You're very self-directed. So if you have those ideas, the Eight of Pentacles to me is like you can achieve material wealth through that method. And also another thing too is perhaps you need to get away from someone who is very negative. Maybe they are unemployed, but they're also very lack conscious. And you want to get away, but you have to do so in a very clever way. For whatever reason, maybe they are vindictive, or I don't know, something like that. What crosses you is the Princess of Cups. I'm kind of a little bit peeved because this card is bent and I just got it. I don't know how that happened. I don't want to have any markers that could tip me off on what card it is, but luckily that didn't happen. This is the Page of Cups. And that's a cool picture. And the Page of Cups is in the challenge position because you may be the kind of person who, and again, looking at it from astrological perspective, if you have Venus in Pisces, the moon in Pisces or something like that, you may be very susceptible to deception from your significant other, or maybe this is a pattern of yours, and this is something to look at because you tend to be a very generous person, and maybe you have supported somebody who's unemployed and they are really taking advantage of you. And it's not because, and I certainly don't believe that if somebody's unemployed, that means that they're not contributing to the relationship and they have to carry their weight in that way. I'm not talking about that, but I'm talking about, we know when somebody's taking advantage, when they are not, they're not committed to the relationship. They're just in it for what they can get out of it. So knowing that and being able to spot that is so important. And admitting it to yourself, that might be, I think the Princess or Page of Cups has a tendency to be in denial, because maybe in some cases, especially with a sign like ego, you know where I'm going with this, Aries? a sign like Aries, the ego could be involved. Like, oh no, they didn't fool me. I knew all along, when really they did. What's coming in is the Seven of Cups. This can be a card of confusion, wishful thinking, wanting something to be what it isn't, choices presenting themselves, and you not being sure what to do about it. If you are, like, for instance, if you are in a situation where you are having to choose between different job offers and you feel like you don't know what is the best one, you can either treat it like, hey, this is not the end of the world. Whatever I do, I can always do something else, or you can choose not to do anything at all if you're not impressed by any of them. So sometimes people think they have to take action, and really they don't. And same thing with a relationship issue. If you are dealing with someone who is deceptive, who is, you never know if they're telling you the truth or not. You need to look at that, because you're going to have a hard time with that type of behavior on a day-to-day basis. The outcome is the Empress, and this is the Earth Mother. This is the creator. It's a very creative card. And what I would say about this is, if you're like in a relationship with someone and you do want to have children, that you have to look at that other person and say, is this who I want to raise children with? Can I raise children with this person? Is this would this be the worst possible thing I could even think of? Just because I want something doesn't mean that I need to have it in this moment. If I would be jeopardizing my future children, it isn't about me anymore. It isn't just about me anymore when it's possibly bringing new life into the world. So taking it from that self-focus and looking at it from, what would be best for a child. Because this is creative energy, this may be something that you want to do on your own, and that's what the Seven of Swords is, that you need to go on your own way because you can't do it. Well, the Eight of Pentacles suggests that you have the potential to be successful financially at this. So, and I think with the Page of Cups in the challenge position, you may be having, I was going to say writer's block, but I mean like some kind of creative block. Maybe you're having trouble getting started, or you don't feel like you should start it. And the answer is, why not? What is keeping you from starting something? Okay, that's what I have for you, Aries. I hope that you enjoyed this. If you would like a private reading, I am primarily an astrologer, and you can check out my offerings at the link below. Take care. Bye.